Hello, this is Lavistro, the Dragon of Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. You know, there are times when we get games imported here from Japan, China, Asia in general, and they require translations. And in recent years, we've seen people take certain liberties, shall we say, with translations. And when caught up for it, they throw a big hissy fit because they got caught. And they say, oh, it's hard to translate this to that, or it's rather wordy instaphobes, or whatever you want to call it. Other times, these major companies overseas don't know it. Some don't care. Some revert to AI. And then some decide, you know what? We're going to make sure we are faithful to the original adaptation to the best of our abilities. Or so they promise, as is the case with Founding Comics News report here. Trails of the Sky remake confirms new English localization promises an authentic experience that honors the original Japanese text. Every so often, a bit of welcome news peaks for the absolute shitstorm that is English to Japanese media translation scene. In the latest case of this rare phenomena, it has been confirmed that the long-awaited Trails of the Sky First Chapter remake being released in Western markets with a brand new and far more faithful localization. The first official and eponymous entry in the Trails sub-series of Nihon Falcom's larger The Legend of Heroes turn-based RPG franchise, Trails of the Sky, introduces players to the fictional country of Liberal and puts them in the shoes of Estelle and Joshua Bright, adopted siblings who, in seeking to become a part of the kingdom's peacekeeping forces, uncover a secret plot filled with betrayal, lies, and secret societies that stands to tear entire society into chaos. I'm just gonna say right there, the last part of that sentence seems off. Did you proofread it? I'm not trying to nitpick here, but I have a speech impairment, so it's hard enough as it is when some of the sentences don't flow properly. Continuing on. Debuting in Japan in 2004, the game would eventually be licensed for an English language release by US-based publisher Xseed Games 2010, but would ultimately not hit neither North America or Europe until 2011. Due to not only the absolute massive task of localizing its reportedly 1.5 million Japanese character long script, but also the company's decision to assign the job to an jaw-droppingly small team consisting of just one lead localizer and an attempt support roster of one editor and 3 translators. Ouch. I'm gonna say that, ouch. This long, said lead XD localizer Jessica Chavez of her work on the game, is so long that many companies have avoided localizing it for years. The body count has always been off-putting for some reason. Conflicting reports put the total of the game text at 1.5 million Japanese characters, but all I know for certain is that I worked from home 11 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, lost 7 pounds, cut off 18 inches of my hair, and used XD Twitter account to further the cause of bacon on more than one occasion. In the end, we had to employ a total of 3 translators, 1.25 editors, myself, and Tom had to jump in the last month to help me finish Chapter 4, and 1 or 2 other helpful Sora no Kitsiki experts that didn't mind spontaneous instant message asking about whether or not certain characters would be at home saying things like, "Lo, I am poised with my own petard." She added, "I believe all the translators survived mostly intact." And Tom reports cheerfully on my left as I type this that he sort of missed tits and also thinks he has Stockholm Syndrome. Our manager, on the other hand, does this kind of thing all the time and just laughs at our weakness. I will say it is kind of nice when you can look back and laugh at your trials and tribulations. That's just pretty fun. As a result, the original English script, The Legend of Heroes Trail of the Sky, while admirably done and commendable in its accomplishment, reeked of rushed deadlines and personal touches, as we have stated earlier, regarding controversies and localization. All of which ultimately resulted in localization receiving a less than favorable reception from series fan bases. Thankfully for those disappointed fans, alongside a rebuilding of the Hans Falcom's proprietary Trails through Daybreak engine, as originally developed in 2022 for use with the mainline Trails series games from which it takes its name. The ability to switch between a new real-life combat system and a more traditional turn-based one, and the additional voice acting. The upcoming Trails in the Sky First Chapter remake will also see the game's North American publisher, Gung Ho Online Entertainment of America, EA, going the extra mile and commissioning a brand new, supposedly more accurate localization. Well, that should be good. TCD Games comments in an April 15 press release announcing the open of the game's preloader window. The publisher revealed Trails in the Sky First Chapter features a new localization, ensuring authentic and engaging experience that honors the original Japanese text. Fans can look forward to experiencing classic moments of dialogue that capture both the heart and charm of Trails series in English, German, French, or Spanish. For those who prefer the Japanese audio, a Japanese voice option will also be available, giving players the freedom to choose how they want to experience the game. And that's the key point here: player choice. All right, when you sell a game, you have to sell the illusion of choice. And what do I mean by illusion of choice? I don't mean like you make players pretend they're playing the game they want to play. Now, the illusion of choice is, for example, the best example I can give is Skyrim. In the beginning of the game, you're forced to go through the tutorial. Now, there are some times where you can do certain things in the game, like from the beginning, you can, I don't know, pick up Rayloff's axe, but maybe you'll pick up the Centurion's sword, the Imperial sword that they carry, right? And you choose to fight with that. Now, they show you the different styles of options and gameplay mechanics. That's also an illusion of choice. But the illusion of choice I'm talking about is, let's say you chose to go with Rayloff instead of the other guy, right? And either one you choose, you're going to go straight over to Riverwood, right? Well, what if I told you, and maybe you didn't think about it, but what if I told you you don't have to go to Riverwood? That just progresses the main story. Once you are out of the tutorial level, you can go, let's say, to Fallproof. You can go into another dungeon. You can do anything you want as long as it's not locked by the main story. That is an illusion choice. That's the beauty of an open world game. You can do whatever you want after you get through the tutorial phase. That's an illusion of choice, because it's still within the game rules, but you're giving the illusion that the player can do whatever they want within the game. So, the illusion of choice here would be letting players have the option of using Japanese audio. While it is a choice, it's not truly an illusion. It is the player freedom that matters here. And players, when they play a game, they want to hear, if they want a translation, they are expecting the translation to be as faithful as it can be, not taking certain liberties to protect your certain self-telic abilities. For example, if I was making a game, if I was translating a game, and the game says something that I did not agree with politically, it doesn't matter. I have to translate the game as fair as possible. So, if it says, for example, I hate the Japanese emperor and I am in favor of the Japanese emperor, I can't say I dislike or disagree with the Japanese emperor when the translation literally says I hate. Good for thought there. That's the main issue with players nowadays and local translators. Local translators want to put their own political objectives, or maybe they don't like the canon disagreeing with their head canon, so they'll change things. For longtime fans of the series and those looking to finally take the dive into admittedly intimidating canon. Trails of the Sky Chapter 1 is set to release on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and PC platforms via Steam sometime later this fall. As done by GoEA, pre-orders for the game's physical standard edition, $60 USD, are now live at most major retailers, while digital Steam release is set to go live as soon as it launches. Meanwhile, Trails of the Sky First Chapter will also be receiving a yet-to-be-detailed collector's edition from Limited Run Games, who longtime readers of VIC may best know as a boutique video game publisher that fired community manager responsible for collecting outrage over her following of right-wing media figures on social media. And that individual, now, if I remember correctly, last I checked, she now works for, if I remember correctly, Eric July and Ripperverse, an independent comics developer. But yeah, this is why I don't no longer use Limited Run Games, and it seems like, while I might cover this in a later video, it seems that Limited Run video games, their cartridges are burning up the NES consoles. So, yeah, take that for what you will. But what do you think? Have you anticipated Trails in the Sky? Do you believe that this is going to be a faithful adaptation? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.
Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest's eye of cyberstorm. Reclaim gaming and Dragon Cast. Fire breathing wide, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready